Hey everybody, it's Matt. Before you listen to the next episode, I just wanted to jump in here and let you guys know that Luciano, Chris, and I are going to be participating in Extra Life. That starts for us on Friday, November 1st. The overall day for Extra Life is November 2nd generally, but we like to get started a bit early. We were raising money specifically for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. We're all in Canada, so we're focused on raising money for them. It's a great charity. It helps raise money to help kids, when they go there, play video games and take care of their health problems, but make it enjoyable while they're there, which is a huge thing for anybody, especially when you have kids. It's so stressful, so knowing they have that peace of mind is great. So we recommend anybody, if you can, please donate to any of us. We'll put the links to our pages in the show notes. If you want to look us up on Twitch while we're playing on the first, Luciano is Cobra Sys, so Cobra SYS. Chris is Neo Soul Eskimo. I'll put it in the notes for you. And then I am Surprise Truck 72. That's for Matt. So hopefully you guys can check us out playing some video games. We've been doing this for 7 years, and we've raised $120,000 Canadian, which is less than American, but still really awesome with our overall team. We're part of a big team called the Video Game Club, and we're really proud of what we've done, and we hope you guys can join us and donate. All right, on to the show.
Hello and welcome to Popcorn and Plot Holes, where we watch movies from the 80s for reasons that
because we're old.
You're all old.
Some of us more than others.
We're reliving our glory days.
Yes, the glory days where you weren't born.
8 years before I was born.
Remember the time right before
Truly
I was
the
conceived.
greatest of times.
Welcome to the final installment of Re-Education Month, where Spencer has suggested that we should watch a movie that came out before he came out to re-educate you with.
Hey.
And truly, this is the most educated of all the educatings that we have been re-educating.
No, but continue.
We watched The Thing, 1982, the original, not a remake from
What
2011, not a remake from, was it like 2022?
2011.
Is it just 2011? They haven't tried to remake it since?
Yeah, no.
I'm actually shocked.
And the remake from 2020, you mean the original?
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about like The Thing from Another World. Like, that isn't the same movie. That's just inspiration, right?
No, this is a remake.
What,
Yeah.
The Thing?
What?
The Thing is a remake of The Thing from the other.
Yeah, I guess you're fair,
Which
but
is
like,
based on the book Who Goes There.
yeah, but it's like, it's not a remake so much as it's like a reimagining, if you will.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like actually says like based on that movie.
Sure. I mean, they do it all the time. It's like based on real events, and the only real event was like the dog licked a man's face, and the rest of it's all just made up shit, right? Like, it's all relative to the context. Anyways,
This movie's based on real events. There was a dog in the Arctic at one point.
the dog looks like a wolf.
And it was a husky.
And what's the
believe it was a
littlest
husky.
hobo? Okay.
The littlest hobo was a German Shepherd. Please get your facts straight.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, the littlest hobo does.
There's a voice. Keeps on calling me.
That's not even the littlest hobo song.
Yeah.
Yes,
Why
it
are
is.
you
What the
singing?
fuck
No.
you're
Yes,
talking
it
about?
is.
This some
No, it's
old
maybe
people shit?
tomorrow.
There's more of it.
I don't want to know about it. This is the Thing podcast. It's not the littlest hobo podcast.
That's a damn shame.
Re-education month.
Well, when we do the next Re-Education Month, it'll be just littlest hobo episodes to the end of
Correct.
time.
4 weeks in a
Oh,
row.
we can do like Tintin and
No,
fucking
we're not doing that racist son of a bitch.
Read all about it.
Lassie?
No,
Are these all
Lassie.
dogs?
that
Yeah.
racist. Old Yeller. Brah,
Old
brah.
Yeller? No,
Focus.
I-
The Thing.
Blah, blah.
We watched
Oh, yellow, brah, brah.
brah, brah. 1982's
Oh, no.
The Thing. And, I really had to think about the vehicle. We had a honest to God discussion in our WhatsApp chat that we have about whose vehicle it was. Keith David's vehicle, Wilford Brimley's vehicle. Someone suggested the Charles Hallahan vehicle. But
That's the correct one.
But having looked into this further, I think it might be the Adrienne Barbeau vehicle.
Show your work.
She is the voice of the computer. McCready was just the chess. But she is like an
I
iconic
stand corrected.
sci-fi fantasy horror actor. She was in several John Carpenter movies. Did she? marry John Carpenter? Or was she?
I was gonna say, is she married
I
to him?
honestly think she may have.
This sounds like a Mila Jovovich situation.
Well, because like she was like the main woman in Escape from New York. She was Brain's girlfriend.
Another Kurt Russell movie.
She was once married to John Carpenter. So that was your Agent Barbeau minute here on the Thing podcast.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
If tuning in,
For those of you that came for that, you can leave now.
you and all those hobo fans get the fuck out. We're talking about the Thing from
We
here
did
on
it,
out.
okay?
All right, the Thing. We start like always, something positive, and we are going to leave Spencer to the end because it's his movie. So let's go with Luciano.
Why is my favorite thing about this movie?
Hi-yo, don't do that again.
It wasn't on purpose, but now I'm gonna do it all the time.
Fuck you.
I think it was one of the very first scenes when Kurt Russell loses the chess match to the computer and dumps like his bourbon or whatever that was into the computer.
Was this whole episode about the fucking computer?
You fucking cheater. I just laughed so hard.
He says,
'Cause
cheating bitch.
Yeah, I was familiar or aware of this movie for a long time, and I watched bits and pieces of it, but I don't think I had ever sit down and watched it. So I had never seen that scene, and it gave me a good laugh. So I'm gonna pick that.
It's foreshadowing.
It is.
He's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Basically, the shadowing. Chris, what are you coming up with?
Yeah. When the dude who gets shot in the leg and gets patched up, like he Knowles, the chef dude, he's playing Stevie Wonder Superstition in the kitchen. And then over the PA, one guy's like, turn it off. I'm trying to sleep. I got shot today. And then Knowles is like, yeah, of course. Then he rollerblades back. He's like, and he intentionally misses the volume and keeps on doing his thing. And I'm like, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing.
And that song is fitting because everyone was very stitious.
Exactly. Very apropos, if you were.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that, yeah. I gotta say the favorite part of this movie is like I liked how simple it was, but how easy it was to like get superstitious and freaked out. Like it's the perfect level of like creep you out.
Paranoia.
Yeah, and one of the things it did that was really interesting to me because I've watched it, but I've never watched it all in a row. So like I missed this, but it's like
What was this movie on? Like fucking TBS every fucking other day, and you guys were just constantly seeing pieces of it?
I never saw it.
For me, it was like that.
Like, it never crossed my path. And this movie, like, if I knew what it was, it just scared me. Like, I knew it would, but it never crossed my path.
Sorry to interrupt, Mag. Please finish.
no, it's fine. I just want to satisfy your curiosity. But yeah, so the thing it did, the thing I was talking about is like lesser movies would be really mysterious with the thing and have you creeping around behind the scenes and not let the actual characters see it. But it's pretty aggressive about being like, hey, this thing is here and it's fucked up. And it's like, it's the dog. Look at this weird dog thing that's sitting in the pen just shitting all over things. And, you know.
It's not like a little bit or like in the dark. It's like goes like from 0 to 100 immediately. Yeah.
And as they say in the movie, it's weird and it's pissed.
Basically, right?
Yeah.
So the fact to me
Pissed off.
that's the best part of the movie is like they know it's there. They all see it. They all know a thing exists. It's not like one guy would be like, I swear I saw it. It's like they all fucking
that's
saw
such
it.
a trope they would probably do in every other like version of this.
And I think it's brilliant.
I would see it and they'd be like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Jim's right here. He's fine.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jim.
Meanwhile, in this movie, just like that dog just bursts open and like a million tentacles come out and like it climbs to the ceiling and spits on another dog.
Or like
It's what the fuck?
Norris's like dead corpse because he wasn't dead, but like Norris's corpse is like, I'm gonna chop your hands off, sir.
But I'm gonna form a torso-sized mouth and bite your napkin arms off. Like it was great.
Fantastic.
So
That leads right into my favorite part, which was the absolutely incredible special effects.
Oh,
you're
no.
high.
This movie famously is known for the greatest use of practical effects of all time. It is known.
Hmm.
And there's no CGI in this movie except for that. There's like I think there's claymation in the finale.
There's CGI in this movie when the fucking spaceship is arriving at the beginning.
I was wondering about that.
Honestly, that's probably my least favorite part of the movie.
Of
It is
course.
so
I was like,
unnecessary.
what the fuck was
It's like,
that?
why do
when I
they
saw
need to
that?
show?
So first of all, it's 1982. There's no CGI. Like Star Wars didn't use any
it's
CGI,
like-
right?
it's
And you
like
you can
props.
notice I noticed this in the first scenes where you have the helicopter show up and
Yeah.
with the spaceship. One of the things they did, I learned this. I got deep in like how they made Star Wars, like those Disney specials, and like a lot of what happens is like for landscapes and things where they wanted to do like motion, the guys would paint. They'd paint the landscape. Someone would go ahead and paint the whole thing, and then that way they could fly a spaceship in front of it and get the whole scene the way they wanted to do it. Right?
It's all in camera.
Yeah, it's all in camera, so they can get it all to look good. So you can see they did that at the beginning with like the alien spaceship flying around. It was like they just painted the background of Earth and the alien spaceship going boop 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 boop. boop.
Even the
It's so shitty.
Yes,
even the opening of the thing font is
Yeah.
they're actually burning a plastic bag.
Yeah, that was pretty
melts
cool.
away to show.
It is pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
all that like vibe and look of that is just like gets me going.
It's
just
real.
so cool. But yeah, the effects in this movie is just it's one of a kind. I don't. It just stands out as like just so you could just tell there's so much fucking work put into this. The effects in this movie, they just put so much fucking effort into this. It's like I think the guy who did the effects was like 22 and it was like one of his first things, and he was just like obsessed over making it like crazy detailed, and it's fucking awesome. I love it. It's so gross and like tactile.
I mean, this is kind of. I mean, when we talk about we've done 2 John Carpenter movies in this iteration of the podcast, Halloween, and this movie. But John Carpenter has so many iconic movies that kind of litter the
like
moviescape.
vampires.
Okay.
Barbie.
Yeah, but like, so he is one of those, like, it's funny to hear like he does all the like he did all the soundtracking for Halloween, right? Like he's just the guy who's like, I'm gonna make a movie and I'm gonna do it this way and I'm gonna just cut the corners where I can, and so I'm not surprised he had a special effects artist like that did all this work and we're so dedicated to the craft and getting it right. And like, I was reading up about it, like this movie bombed at the box office, partially because it was so dystopian for the 1980s and they, and I think it came out with, I don't know if it's the same weekend or within like a couple weeks of like E.T.
Yeah.
I mean, then he got fucked.
So
Worst
it's like,
possible timing.
yeah, so it's like aliens. One is a friendly alien who will give you Reese's Pieces and make you feel like a child again, and the other one's
Fly.
is eating your
and
friends.
the other one is E.T.
yeah, right.
You can also
Yeah,
tell
that was not a good time to come out.
Yeah.
you can also tell that that this movie certainly had an impact on inspired other similar genre stuff. Like I just now connected the dot between this because it was my first time seeing the thing, and then like I'm in Canada, so growing up we had TV shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I think there's certain treatments and nods to some of the effects that took place in that, and it like literally like it just occurred to me now. So that's interesting.
I'll say that especially when they show like the first time when they go to the other base and they bring the dude that was like whatever, like deformed, and it's so grotesque. It's so off-putting. It was very. It's like, oh Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I think that one is the worst. Like that first one is maybe because of the surprise effect. It's like it's the most
the
disturbing.
dog one.
No. The guy that is dead that they bring from one base to the other. That they open it.
Oh yeah, and they're like
it's like fuming.
the two-headed one.
Yeah, it's
like
so
separating.
grotesque. Yeah.
Worst decision ever, too. But
Yes.
whatever.
Like
Oh,
artistically,
let's bring this mutated like garbage to our base
And study it.
Smelly mutated monster.
Also,
every
let's
time I
put
see
our
that scene,
hands
I'm
in
like,
it with no gloves.
yeah. Well, there's another scene actually. The scene where Blair is talking about how it's so can clone people, and he's showing the corpse, and he's touching it with his pencil, and then he puts his pencil to
in
his
his mouth. Yeah, I was so. It was so like I was like, stop it! What
Yeah.
are you doing?
A lot of people think that that's the scene where he gets infected.
Maybe.
So
Of course he had to. But
So two things here. One, it's gross. It's not wrong because there's a thing about that's taking over people's bodies. It's wrong because it's gross effluence of a creature in your mouth. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Even just common sense.
Yeah.
Like that's
It
gross.
was like just poking his like, I wonder. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
tastes like
pup-
chicken.
This pus sack here, if I just prod it, it'll explode all over. You see that? Let me.
Yeah. it's like, oh, wait a minute. Let me poke this pus-filled garbage with my lollipop, and then what the fuck?
What do you mean? I always use my lollipop to point
know?
at things. That's my thing.
Scientifically proven.
so Spencer, I do have to ask about the special effects because I think there's like to me there's two levels of special effects. There's one that's like the gore and the depiction of the aliens and the hybrids and
Yes.
stuff, and then there's these scenes where we have the mouth open and chop off someone's hands, and or the aliens split open and eat Windows' face. And,
Fantastic.
And it's one of those things where it's like I can sit back and I can definitely appreciate the skill level that went into it because I've watched movies from the 80s to now. But it is also like disconnecting from the movie because it's just like having seen other special effects where they could do that in a more realistic way, you can't help your brain from disconnecting and being like, oh, that's obviously fake. So it's like it's hard to there's that dissonance, cognitive dissonance for like people watching this for the first time now to like take it seriously and get the level of creep they should, almost get from the movie. Like it's like, oh, who's the thing? And then when you see the thing split open and eat a guy's head, it's like, oh, all right, well, that's not that.
That to me, there's no scene that represents this more than the torso, like Norris's torso turning into a huge mouth. Because of all the way that it happened was like the doctor guy is like, he's not just like trying to resurrect, he's like stabbing him with the pants. Like, ugh! And on the second or whatever, third time, it just like caves in, but it doesn't cave in a way that makes sense. It just like, oh, of course, it was made by with like, I don't know, sugar.
Gotcha, bitch.
And
Norris.
Yeah. No, and then like I paused it because it was laughing so hard. I paused it and like the teeth look made of like napkins and the arms look made of like papier mache.
But it's
like it's rough.
It's funny because that one was probably the roughest one. At the same point in time, Norris's head growing spider legs and crawling away.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Super
actually,
creepy and super effective.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just
The same with the dog. The dog growing all of those tentacles.
Yeah.
Like it was super creepy.
It's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible work. With the head is falling off the back of the table.
Yeah.
And it's sliding down, and it's like the neck is like all stretched. That scene like looks so good.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's all a lot of it's lighting too. Like the scenes that are lit, are lit. But like, if this podcast had listeners, we'd be getting hate. you two would be getting hate mail by anyone because this movie is like so. Like I just watched a video on this movie where it's like the greatest. The peak of cinema's effects industry. It's like literally goes through like all the reasons why it's like the best.
All right.
This is like people being like the only way to listen to music is on records. It's like
on vinyl.
Yeah.
Is vinyl?
It's on vinyl.
Yeah.
You don't say records.
You're the fucking
the same
vinyl right
thing.
now.
That is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Listen,
the worst
that
part
video
is
had 900 billion views, and they all said agree. Okay.
the worst thing, not the worst thing, the funniest thing about that scene with the head, with like Norse's head like oozing over and like that's super creepy, and then like it immediately grows like spider legs and it like slowly creeps out, and I was like, oh fuck, it's gonna go away. And then everybody, it's like almost a scene from a comedy. They always stop and they turn and the thing turns and goes, oh shit. Like, it's so weird. That's all that was missed. Like,
and the guy says, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Which is such a genuine, like exactly what I would be saying.
Yeah.
It is. That's again. That
It's
goes
whiplash almost at that point because like it's fun. That scene is funny.
Well,
at the end.
that's what goes back to my like. The movie is very realistic, right? Because it doesn't try to like. Movies have this tendency to be like it's got to be big and important and like the head escapes so it can come back to roost another day. And this is just like, no, man, like there's 8 guys in here or whatever. Of course they saw it.
Somebody's gonna
Someone's gonna
notice.
see it, and of course they're just like, "What the fuck is happening?" Right?
Did you? I have a question on the effects. Did you guys notice on the blood test scene? Did you notice Kurt Russell's hand?
Not specifically.
No.
This is why it's such good filmmaking, because it's like I know that scene obviously very well.
Yeah.
And if you watch that scene, it is so obvious that his hand is like a plastic mold,
Oh, okay.
but only on the shot where it pops out. Every other scene
Right.
is his real hand.
Yeah.
But
Right.
this right before when it cuts to him being like, "Well, we'll see, Childs." He's like, "I'm looking forward to doing you next," and it cuts to him, and he's like, and his hand looks like totally latex, completely, and like, but everyone's looking at the needle,
Of
which is why I was
course, yeah.
curious if you guys noticed, because like,
No.
they
No,
touch
not
it,
at
and
all.
it shoots out, and it's like, and for some reason it makes a noise.
Oh, it's the same hand they used in the early 2000s for iPhone product shots.
Oh no.
They couldn't get human hands.
No,
No.
it used to be.
Do you know how expensive
They didn't
human
have
hands
hands
are?
back then.
Nah, in the early 2000s, nah.
Way too expensive for hands in the 2000s.
The
Spencer,
the last thing I'll say about effects before we
Okay.
move on is just because they made the remake, they're not the sequel, it's actually prequel, the 2011 one.
Yeah.
Apparently, they did the whole movie with practical effects, like The Thing, because it's one of the things that people love most.
Okay.
And the studio, which is probably a bunch of Lucianos and Max, went in there and said, it looks too 80s, redo it all with CGI.
But
And
that's not. It's like a misunderstanding of your target audience, because the people who are gonna want to see
Yeah.
that the most
Are
are
the
the
people who
ones
fucking
who
love this
like
movie.
it.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But and then they did it, and the CGI looks horrible. If you watch it, it's like it looks really. It's not even like the fact that it's CGI; it's bad CGI for a lot of it.
well, I mean,
And
that's the thing,
it's-
right? 2011
it's
is
just-
not the heyday of CGI.
No, and it's so sad because they have like behind the scenes shots of them making it with the practical.
Oh,
Right.
In
no.
the prequel, they showed that how that 2-headed guy, the one that they find burnt,
Oh,
they show
cool.
how he got like that, and they had the practical effect of that thing walking down like the room, and it looks so sick. And then the real movie one looks like a fucking Scorpion King.
It knocks on the moon.
It knocks on the moon. And for some reason, they say that in the movie.
Oh no.
That makes sense, honestly.
They added that too.
Yeah.
I was actually recently talking about like effects and CGI. I was rewatching the scene in Terminator 1 when like Arnie's external like body like burns off, and it's just him as a robot, and him going after it's going after Sarah. You think in your head, oh, that scene was cool. If you watch
Yeah.
it now, you go like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Especially when he says Sarah Connor, "A knocks on the moon."
Yeah.
really
That's
gets out of
not-
it.
That was the first time they said.
Cardio day.
Anyway,
Spencer, I did want to ask, how should I put this? That's fair and even and not, misleading in any way.
accusatory and aggressive.
No, I would
I'm
never
an
do
open
that.
book. Okay, listen, I'm an open book here, people.
Oh no,
Spencer,
please, stop.
Get nothing
You
to hide,
chose
okay?
you chose the thing. 1982 is the thing. Explain yourself. Why?
What a nasty question. You are a nasty person, okay? No. I picked this movie because in my opinion, which is the right opinion, just preface, it's one of the most perfect movies out there. I think that it accomplishes everything that it tries to do, and it's such a unique movie with the vibe is so fucking cool. I just love the paranoia and the isolation vibe of like the middle of like Arctic, and it's all filmed like on location, and it's just like it's like nothing's been. I've never seen anything like it before or after. It's just one of a kind. And my favorite thing about the movie, other than the special effects, obviously that I love, is the not knowing. Like you can like rewatch this movie so many times because there's so many details and hints out of like who's the thing, who's not the thing, and it's like it's just like it gives it this rewatchability of like you're like, oh, why did he say that? Why did he say that? Like they apparently John Carpenter, when he made the movie, there was like a big delay while they were filming because of weather, and during that time he just like really hammered out the script and the storyline to be like really anally perfect. I repeat, anally perfect. You can clip that.
It's the
on the
only
box.
way to be. It's the only way to be.
It's on the box.
It's on the box. It's a
Anally
tagline.
perfect.
It's the tagline.
Yeah.
The thing, anally perfect.
It came from another world, and it's anally perfect.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
So yeah, I just love I love all of that, and I think all the acting is is great, and the dialogue is great. It all feels like they're all just real people. It's one of those things that
That's
like
true.
older movies were able to get really well that newer movies just can't seem to do, where all the side characters seem like real people. Whereas
They
like I
give
don't
them
know.
airtime in a way that's not too much.
It's
just-
also not stilted. Like the dialogue isn't stilted.
Yeah, it's
right?
like you said, the scene where he like turns up the music and he's like, I just got fucking shot today. It's like in a new movie, they wouldn't even give them that line, and if they did, it would be like, I just can't wait to see my wife and kids back home. It'd be like some super cliched
Movies
like bullshit line.
Movies have this problem now in many ways of everything's got to be an event or a thing, and so like you just can't tell a story. It's got to be like this
And
crazy
you-
thing happened, or like
You can't just put a person, right?
Yeah.
It has to be a character.
Yeah,
right?
it has a
It's like-
purpose to the story.
yeah, it's like
It's got to be a tight 90 minutes.
because you think of McCready, right? McCready is just a pilot, just a dude who
Yeah.
has
Fucking sombrero.
with a sombrero
For some
apparently,
reason.
and he has his own private cabin. But like, otherwise, he's just a dude who's just like put in a situation, right? It's like one of the reasons why Die Hard is so beloved is he's just a generic cop put in a crazy situation.
Yeah, it's not like the super cop who
Right.
like can shoot
But
3 bazookas at the same time.
as we
that's
went
what he becomes.
forward into the 90s action hero saga, everybody became a superhero and you lost like the relatability of the characters.
Which it can also be done well, but like it's harder, I think, to.
Well, it's fine if you want to be a superhero, but like
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
but I mean, you can have like it's not the problem with someone being exceptional. The problem is when not only all of the protagonists have to be exceptional, but also everything they do and everything they say and everyone they talk to has to be like, hey, remember, there's a story going on. I have to.
Yeah. It's like
Right?
written by committee, right? Versus like
Yeah.
having like conversations going on that are like almost feel improv or like an actual real conversation.
Or something that would actually happen that doesn't have anything to do with the plot, like the music thing that Chris mentioned is a perfect. Like,
kitchen?
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
All that it does is show us that they've been there a long time and they get on each other's nerves. Like
Yeah.
that, and that's all that it has to do, right?
And it's perfect for that.
Yeah.
Because that makes it like everybody feels like real, like they all have their own motives and like personalities that like actually like matter, as opposed to
Yeah.
being like, oh, he's guy who dies.
True.
Like I don't want to go in the basement,
Yeah.
and then he goes in the basement
This-
and dies.
this does bring me to a question I'm curious about everyone's opinion on. Chris, we'll start with you. At the end, McCready and Childs are just like, basically dead. And they're like, is one of us a thing and it doesn't matter? And for them, it might not because they'll never know. But does it matter to us? Was McCready or Childs a thing? Because yes, obviously we see that at the time of the test they aren't things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like, we still have like another third of the movie to go after that.
Yeah.
Where were you, Childs?
Mm-hmm. Where wasn't I?
I saw
was
Blair! I saw Blair!
I saw him and he saw me. And then he touched me.
And he told me that he's got diabetes.
And then he gave me some candy. He gave me a fistful of Werthers. And I was changed on the inside.
Well, the thing impersonating a Werther, that's perfect. Think about it.
Just put
That's
me
how-
in your mouth.
You know?
Did my Werther just say put me in the mouth?
You know?
That's where my Werther's talking to me.
I'm delicious.
Oh, well, in that
Keep
case.
this character, Matt. Keep the character.
Why
Don't
does
break.
this word there sound like Mr. Hanky?
Because it makes them sound more delicious.
I'm just a tiny tasty treat.
See? See? And thus bridges the gap from mission unsuccessful to mission possible for assimilating everybody. That's probably what happened in the prequel too. Like somebody got into the Werthers, but the Werthers were infected.
First of all, Chris, what is the Norwegian Werther's equivalency?
I don't know Norwegian, so this is going to probably come out highly
Great.
offensive. It's called the Werthers.
It's Rudbrud.
Okay, that's I can't. I can neither confirm nor deny. So next on the move.
Let's go
Smart
back
play
to our
there.
original question and
Yes.
stay away from offending all Norwegians.
Mm,
McCready
we'll
or
never hear
Childs?
this anyway.
They're our only audience.
Are they?
I don't know. Why do we always attack them?
We're alienating the hand that feeds us.
They're 80% of our audience.
All right, well, this is the last time I'm going to ask.
Yes.
McCready or Childs? Are they things?
So, I think maybe each of us will take a stab at it, but at that point, yeah, I think they could be, because how the heck
Both
could
of them.
I think they could be, yes,
Interesting.
because like how would McCready survive an explosion like that? It seems a little too convenient to me.
But by that logic, the thing wouldn't survive an explosion either, because the thing don't survive in fire either.
But McCready was closest to the exit, and if he was already infected, he could have made it out.
But by that logic, McCready could have made it out.
That's what I'm saying, McCready.
Like
I'm confused.
non-infected McCready could have escaped as well. So maybe your argument is it made him run faster.
The thing doesn't impart
What is happening?
superhero abilities
No, it does not.
other than
It is a perfect replica.
harder to kill, basically.
That's true.
but
That is
it
a
does-
Enhanced durability,
Well,
It's not even durability. It's just that
except for fire.
it can survive
Ish.
with
Yeah.
a single cell, so it doesn't matter if it's been shot or cut or anything, because the cells don't die.
it's the
It's not gonna
separation.
bleed
Of,
out.
sorry, Spencer. It's the separation of the idea that like if you take like Blair, so the Blair thing will die.
I think you mean
Sorry.
Wilford Thingley.
Thank you, Wilford Thingley would die, but the thing could live on.
Yeah.
But Wilford Thingley is it's already dead. I mean, Wilford Brimley is dead, and now it's Wilford Thingley.
Right.
Yes.
That's correct.
So he wouldn't die. He's already dead.
And then
No,
you
but, like,
shove his entire face on the captain's head.
The thing, the symbiote thing, it doesn't seem to ever go back to a copy once that copy is discovered or killed, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think it could. I just think there's no reason to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not that it couldn't. It just doesn't do it.
Right. But so my point is, like, if Wilford Thingley dies, it's not going to go and try to be Wilford Thingley again. But the thing still continues to live, and we'll
Right.
pick a new thing to turn into.
That was the whole point of McCready's test, right? Is how every part of it outside of like a collective is still its own entity. So like a single like drop of blood with the thing's material in it can survive and do something else,
Right.
As long as it gets to infect someone.
Which brings us full circle towards the final battle. McCready and Monstrosity Thingley are duking it, and before like Monstrosity Thingley can't move. Didn't seem well. Actually, no, it moves really quickly, almost like that Tremors worm.
Yeah, underground.
Yeah.
Right.
One scene.
Yeah.
So if it can move as fast, if it can move that quickly, I don't see why it couldn't try to infect
So
Russell Thingley.
So I think the thing we may be getting wrong here, and Spencer, maybe you can shed some light on this. We're acting like the thing touches you and infects you, but the
you
way the
breathe it
movie
in, too?
shows it is
Sure.
the movie kills you and takes your form.
No, because there's no bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it takes over.
when it takes over you. But
Yeah.
basically, once you get infected, it slowly replaces all your cells with thing cells.
Yeah.
It's
that
like
was
think
the
of
thing
it.
that it shows. Blair shows like on the computer thing where it takes over every single cell.
Listen,
That was
I
like
can't
that was the majority of the
trust
budget of the
that
movie.
computer thing.
Why not?
We gotta
Pull
use-
numbers out of its
we
non-existing ass.
We must use the technology presented to us. So
You
Fair
can't
enough.
you can't kill the thing with a gun or a knife, because it's like imagine trying to shoot sperm. You know, you
I
could
do
shoot
it all the time.
but
Yeah.
you could stab a bowl of sperm, but it's not going to kill the sperm.
Great reference, I guess.
Picture a bowl of sperm.
Anybody want to work
I'd
hentai
rather
in
not.
here right now, or no? Okay.
So Wilford Brimley.
Oh
No.
no.
So
too
okay, so
far.
Chris, you have put forth
Dodge the question.
the idea. No, he actually
I didn't
put
dodge
forth
it.
the idea that both McCready
Were
and
infected.
Childs were
Ah, okay.
infected.
Because Childs wasn't in the
Right.
basement. So a child, anything could have happened.
Sure.
Even if he wasn't infected, everyone was infected. So how could he not be infected? One, while he's running around. Two, everything we said already with McCready in the basement and that final battle.
I don't support your argument of everybody was infected, so how could he not be infected? That seems loose and not actually like your McCready point is valid. Child's just being like, well, he has to be infected because everybody's infected. Feels like you're just dodging the question.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peer pressure infection.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
So,
Come on, child.
all right, listen.
Everybody do it, you loser. He's like, all right.
All right.
All right, Spencer, do you want? Or no, fuck you, Spencer. Luciano, you take a crack at it.
I think that they were both also infected, and I'll tell you why. First of all, there's a point where, like, I'm pretty sure it was Palmer who gets fucking tossed out the
Oh,
one of the
yeeted up the
doors.
side of the building and then exploded.
yeah, and
with
then
dynamite.
exploded. And if individual cells can survive, like now there's vaporized thing cells all over the place, right? But I think more than that, it shows like, at least it feels to me like the more it infected people, the more it learned how to behave to kind of hide itself. So like with Palmer, it wasn't super keen or super good at pretending, but like Blair was Wilford Brimley was pretty good at pretending. So I think that whole interaction that we get at the end between Childs and McCready, they were like, oh yeah, I think you killed it. Yeah. All right, we're dead. Yeah, we're dead. But then they both just survive because they're both the thing.
So, but
I think they're both the thing, but they don't know the other one's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So I challenge your. I follow your premise, but I challenge the one point of it is that the thing continues to learn to better mimic humans, because if the idea is that the things will kill each other to survive, how do you separate individual things, and how they're not a collective all learning together, right? Like once the cell
Right.
splits off and is off doing its own thing, if
well,
two separate
so
cells
here-
come back, do they trade information or do they murder each other?
Well,
like what
I-
happens?
no, I'm thinking because like Spencer said, like you get infected, a person gets infected, and then all that person's cells become replaced by
Sure.
thing cells.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say let's pick Palmer for example. So
Right.
he became a thing Palmer,
Sure.
and then got exploded. Like one of those cells survived, and that cell learned.
Right.
Not just from being Palmer, but from watching maybe other things or other humans. So when it infects, let's say, Childs, it knows better what not to do and what to do, and so on and so forth. So that's at least why I think that in the beginning it was pretty easy to figure out who was infected, or easier.
That's
And
what
then
you
towards
think.
the end, you don't really know.
Well, that's an idea that's probably wrong. Spencer, what do you think?
This is something I've dived deep into in my
Dove.
past.
You're
Dove.
right.
I was right. English. Basically, in my opinion, the child is the thing, and McCready is not. And I'm going to show you my work here.
Racist.
For one, he's black. No, I'm just joking. No.
Think power.
Thing power. No, for one, there's a shot where Childs is looking out the door. He's standing by the door alone, and he was supposed to watch the door.
Right.
And it cuts away. When it cuts back, the door's open, and he's gone.
True.
Now, if
Yeah.
you look in that scene, the jackets are moved around in that when it cuts back, and the thing when it takes over somebody, it tears its clothes.
Yep.
So if they if it got Childs, it would have torn his clothes, and he would have had to get another jacket. Also, the jacket he's wearing when he sees McCready looks like a different jacket. It's hard to tell because it's covered in snow, so that's debated. but it looks like a different shade than the color it was when he
I'm
first
just
had
gonna
it.
say. I'm just gonna say something. The way you said you can tell because it's covered in snow, so it's debated. That sounded taken straight out of a subreddit.
Listen,
like-
it is.
And furthermore, Spencer wrote that subreddit.
Yeah, exactly. I run that.
He's a
subreddit.
moderator there. Yeah.
Also, when he comes back, there's also behind the scenes thing that people say that one of the great makers of the movie said that there's a thing when they're filming called key lights where they'll have a light that shines and it shows a light in the character's eyes. It apparently gives the person looks like more human or whatever. Apparently, when they made the movie, they made it so that whoever the thing is don't have those key lights. So you can look in their eyes and see at certain points. But then John Carpenter said that they only did that in the scene with the blood test. So in the last scene, McCready has those key lights in his eyes, but Childs does not. So, and the last thing is when he gives him the drink. You know, he gives him the drink. He's that ending scene. He's drinking liquor, and then he gives Childs the bottle. And right when he takes a sip, the theme song goes dum 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 dum, which is the theme, obviously. And there's a lot of people say that it's like, oh, it's actually gasoline. It's not actually liquor, and he's testing him. But that's stupid because a replica would know what fucking alcohol tastes like because he's a perfect replica. But a better point is they know that it's transmittable through saliva.
That's what I was gonna say.
So Childs, if he didn't want to get infected, would not have taken the sip. But if he was infected, he'd want to share it and give his saliva to McCready, even though they're alone and he could take him over anyways. So those are all my reasons for why I believe it is Childs, but it's greatly debated.
So not McCready.
Not McCready. McCready is not
Okay.
a thing.
But question.
This has been actually with Spencer.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it kind of was.
I don't normally do that, but I had to
It's
break
fine.
it down.
If that's help me. Did McCready have a weapon still at that point in time when the movie
He had a
was
flamethrower.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then Childs, if he was infected or a thing, he could have just jumped him at that point. But that not possible because he had a flamethrower. Okay.
No, did McCready? No, Childs had the flamethrower.
Childs did. Because Childs took it out to find Blair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he walks in with the flamethrower, and then McCready goes, "Where were you, Childs?" But I think McCready also has a weapon.
No, I think
I don't remember that.
He's just drinking.
That's his weapon. That's his superpower.
Yeah, he has alcohol.
I mean,
Alcohol
but
poisoning.
But a lot of people think that, like, I keep saying a lot of people think. I think this is actually just my. If it's the thing, there's very possible that he just the second the movie cuts to black, the thing takes over him. Right? It's not like he's in no rush to do it. So him not killing him there, it doesn't mean he's not the thing.
This is how conspiracy theories get created because there's no proof that any of this happened. And so you
jet
can create...
fuel can't melt steel beams.
and no,
That's
also
all I'm saying.
there's also no indication that any of the stuff you said was like actually intentional and not just like a coincidence that people.
That's the best part, right?
And
Like,
latched onto.
the jacket could be continuity error for sure.
Yeah,
Because like it's not
There
just
are a
one
few-
jacket that's in a different place. It's like all of the jackets are in a different place. So it's like
there are a
why
few
would they all be-
continuity errors in the movie. Like in the scene with the helicopter, for example, in the beginning, like the distances between where they're showing on the side and on from the back is very noticeable. So it might just be,
COVID was planned. Pandemic.
COVID was planned and started in 1982 in Antarctica.
1982.
Slow burn. Have you heard of it? Slow
This is
burn.
the origin of COVID. It's actually a documentary.
Okay, Spencer. You have to stop. It's too much.
Whatever that was.
It's too much. You
Thanks.
come back to us, Spencer. Come back.
Saying,
back.
look into it. I'm just saying.
Don't look into the light.
Okay. Listen, we gave ourselves lots of room to talk about this movie because of all the interesting subplots and the questions it breeds. Let's talk about plot holes. There's
The fuck,
one
man.
bit. Wow. What the fuck? There's one that kind of sticks out.
Yeah, why
And
did the
it's-
thing just have sex with everyone?
Yeah.
That's a question.
Yeah, a bunch of dudes
plot
just
hole.
raw dogging each other. Sexy.
Yeah, he could infect them all. He could have infected them all at the daily orgy if he just waited.
Just gotta have patience.
Yeah.
Um,
Jesus
That was
Christ.
so loud.
I don't
Yeah,
even
it
know what
was.
you said. The real plot hole, it comes around. It's all the thing around Blair. It's not that Blair gets infected or Blair ends up being a thing. That's fine. It's that they
Is it
leave
that Wilford
Blair.
Brimley doesn't have a mustache? Is that what the
Well,
problem is?
that's part of the problem.
I don't know who Blair is. Luciano, who is he talking about?
He's talking about Wilford Tingley, of course.
Oh, Wilford
Yeah,
Brimley.
sorry. Wilford Tingley. They stick him in the tool shed outside, and they leave him alone for 12 hours, maybe 24 at the
maybe
very
a day.
most.
Yeah, yeah.
Very most. And when they go out to get him after they've done the test and killed a bunch more people, he's gone, right?
Gone. Broke
Gone.
out. Like
Well-
just like the scene in fucking Cuckoo's Nest. Takes that water cooler, puts it through the window, chucks the fuck out.
More like
Great
more
reference.
Like Shawshank.
Worst reference.
Yeah.
Bruce, that's the worst reference of all.
Even Bruce agrees. Yeah.
Terrible reference. And so what I want to talk about is he kick, stop talking.
Kick the damn dog.
Quiet, please. What I want to talk about is he pops the floorboards out, digs a hole, digs a tunnel, digs out
Giant hole. A
an
giant
entire room to build a spaceship, presumably
A
to
very small spaceship.
in a cave
Very
with a box
small.
of scraps.
Wilford Tingley built a
Is-
spaceship in a cave.
is Iron
Yeah.
Man.
The scraps.
Um,
Well, I'm
not
Wilford Tingley.
it's so like he gets scraps from the helicopter that he also destroys
That was
Yeah.
earlier on. But it's just
Right.
like the timeline, none of this tracks because like maybe I'm missing something, but it just feels like it doesn't work in terms of him getting that far down the road of doing all these things. 'Cause it
Yeah.
keys everybody into the idea that he's trying to escape, right? And they have to destroy the whole fucking shebang.
right, and it creates this question, like. It sounds like it's for everybody. At the same time, what are the thing's abilities? Because like when you describe that scene and that feat that Wilford Tingley accomplished, in my mind, it just reminds me of Henry Cavill's Superman heat visioning his way through the iceberg, going from point A to point B. How did Tingley pull this off? I don't know.
Are you saying that the thing came from Krypton? Is that what you're
I
saying?
thought
No, I'm
Wilford
asking
Tingley
how.
was Iron Man, not Superman. This is very confusing to me.
He can take many forms. Here's the thing.
That's
true.
fair. So
Yeah,
but
it feels like it was too fast, right? Like it's not just that it bore through the ice and created like a workshop, but it also had time to go outside and collect things from the helicopter. And apparently, you can use parts of a helicopter to make a flying saucer. I guess. Like it's kind of contrived, and also it had the time to build the news for no reason,
that's important.
which is never explained.
Well, so
it's just
but
a news there.
This is one of the questions about the thing that we don't get a clear sense of powers, and
Yeah.
it is both beneficial and problematic, right? Because it's beneficial that you don't know everything, so you don't know who's hiding amongst you. But it's problematic because when a thing takes over a body, what does it know or not know? So does it get all the knowledge that Wilford Tingley previously had?
Yes.
Does it,
Probably.
but how
Is
does
that a
Wilford
yes?
Tingley? Well, Spencer said yes. So if
Got it.
that's
Yes.
true,
Cool.
how does Wilford Tingley even know how to build a spaceship?
No, he
or
doesn't.
a jet?
That's the
Right.
only time in the movie where it infers that the alien has some kind of
Knowledge.
carryover knowledge.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is probably one of my only nitpicks of the movie. Both my nitpicks of the movie are about the spaceship, the opening spaceship scene,
Yeah.
and the building of the spaceship scene, because it doesn't seem like it has like that kind of like. It makes it seem that infers that it's like a what's it like
Sentient being.
like it's not just sentient, but like it's like if it carries over knowledge, do all the cells carry over that knowledge, or are all the cells connected, or it's like it just raises all sorts of questions.
It's the Wolverine paradox, right? Wolverine can regenerate from a single
From
cell.
a single cell, yeah.
Yeah, like you probably shouldn't have written it that way, guys.
Yeah. It's like why I actually wrote this down when I was writing when they try to show the cells taking over and then the computer doing the fucking ass pool of numbers. I was like, guys, this is 82. Don't show the science, please. Just let us fill in the blanks ourselves. Because it doesn't make sense to me, because it's like it seems very sort of survival focused, the creature. I mean, the thing.
it seems like it's like feral.
Yeah, and its only purpose is to just spread, right?
Yeah, survive.
But at the same time, it has a gigantic, because the one that the Norwegians found is huge. That fucking spaceship, right?
But that is again, I don't know if this is canon, but it's like it was actually aboard another alien species ship, and it spread amongst that ship.
Oh, actually,
It's
that
not
would make more
actually
sense.
the alien.
That
It's
would
not
make
actually
more
like
sense.
the maker of that ship.
Sure,
But then-
certainly
but then-
that wasn't shown in the movie. We have no
Of course
context
not.
to that.
So
Yeah.
in that sense, yeah.
But then, if like that would make sense for the big spaceship, but then why does it know how to build a small version of it? Like again, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It to me, it is like it didn't have to be that way, because the purpose of that whole scene is for us to understand, us as the audience, understand that one, Wilford Tingley or Wilford Brimley is now Wilford Tingley, right?
Yes.
That's the
Yep.
first thing. And the second one is for the characters to understand that, oh shit, it's not trying to infect everybody now anymore. It's trying to kill everybody and go back to the ice so it can survive and wait for the rescue team.
I would let
Right?
it take a spaceship out of here. Is it going to space? Get the fuck
we
out
don't
of
know.
here.
What if it was
This-
Right?
The
There's
safest
also
place
that.
could go.
Let it fucking go.
It's better
But
than
you know-
anywhere else on Earth.
But we don't know. What if it was
Yeah.
just trying to get out of that area to go to a densely populated,
Right.
like a densely populated
Oh, I
region?
see.
Like it's just like
Yeah,
I'm trying
for
to. I'm
sure.
just trying to warp out of here into like to Connecticut and like take them out, right?
That was
just-
just an Uber spaceship, not
Yeah.
That
Okay.
little, and I don't care what species of alien or how smart you are. You can't make a spaceship out of a helicopter. What fuel was it using to get
And
it
how-
into space?
How come
or
it didn't look like the helicopter at all?
was it?
Like the helicopter's other colors and everything. That thing was just like
He
gray.
painted it. He had taste.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
He had
is,
time.
but this. He had X amount of time, and then there are Thingley abilities we are not. We're not privy to.
You
Like
think
it shoots gray paint out of its ass, and that's how it painted it.
At this point, what? Of course.
and it can it could create new new. What am I trying to say?
Newt Gingrich.
No elements to create new forms of energy that can make a ship be able to fly into space.
Yeah.
Like
It's sort of like it feels like they needed to sort of get the characters from point A to point B and us with them, and they were like, yeah, Wilford Tingley is just fucking awesome.
I mean, I
It's
would have
very
preferred.
compatible. It was very compatible with the thing, so it just took over and was very good at it.
I would prefer if it was like trying to take over McCready because he was the pilot and he could fix the pilot
Fly.
with that knowledge.
Yeah.
Or fix the helicopter. I mean, or Wilford Brimley could fix the helicopter.
Fix it and fly it out. Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like that would be maybe the spaceship was just a ploy. Maybe it wasn't actually working.
It was just a shell. Like,
It was just a
idiots.
Yeah,
sham.
it was what Wilford Brimley thought a ship would look like, and because it doesn't have any actual new knowledge, and it was all just to trick them into coming down into his hole.
So he could infect them and carry on his business.
It does lead you down this rabbit hole, right? Of you keep tripping further down the hole in the sense that, okay, so the thing takes over your body cell by cell until you become a thing.
Right.
And it doesn't
Correct.
then tell you, it kind of insinuates through most of the movie that you are just you, but you're now controlled by the thing. But everything about you is still consistent. Your knowledge.
Potentially, you don't even know you're the thing.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
They hint at this a couple of times
Yeah.
in the movie. Yeah.
And so in those scenarios, we're just led to believe that, like, to Spencer's point, the thing is feral. It is just trying to survive. One cell needs to survive to continue the thing's master race, whatever, how you want to put it.
I don't think anybody said master race. That sounds like you inferred it.
Whatever you say,
Think power. Think power.
Yeah, think power.
But when we get to Thingley, it's when they all of a sudden just turn up the thing's abilities
Yeah.
because they need a big bad to end the movie with. And that's where, because it's like, I hate to bring up Star Wars all the time, but we always do it.
Oh no.
It's like when they give Ray all the power, like Ray gets the Force Heal, and like
Well,
it's
the
like
same with Palpatine. Is the same
Yeah.
thing. Like they just make him a super villain, right?
and so it's like the challenge is if you show us something for 3/4 of the movie, but then you change it, it just
It needs
gets
a reason.
you need to like if they were slowly showing each time the thing did something, it got smarter, it got better, it retained knowledge from somebody. That's fine, but it just goes from
Momentum.
like it goes into like fucking I'll never know how old Wilford Brimley is in any movie he's ever in. 30 to
Yes.
50 in this movie.
Anywhere between 19 and 62.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in that scenario, his body type does not depict someone who can sneak up on you crazy fast.
But
True.
he did.
But I'm saying that's like
Not only did he do that, but he literally shoved his hand into the captain's face
right.
really hard.
Yep.
And you cannot tell me that Wilford Brimley had that skill in him before the thing arrived,
Yeah.
right?
So it ramps up what the creature can do with no explanation of why or how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do an amazing job through the rest of the movie of like explaining how the thing works and how its powers are and like it takes over. Like the Doctor knows more than he probably should, but it's like
Oh yeah, I wrote that down.
It's plausibly believable.
Like, oh, okay. I'm gonna poke at this thing with my pencil, and then I'm gonna eat the pencil,
Obviously.
and I'm gonna look at it
Pencil,
in the
dude.
computer. Oh, it can replicate any life form. Like, where did you get that?
Computer.
It's Blair. No, Blair. Wilford Brimley and Wilford Tingley are just amazing.
The Highlander guy did the same thing with his computer. He figured out
That is true.
he was the Highlander
May-
immediately.
Maybe it's the same computer.
I assume.
And
Yeah.
Luciano, you mentioned the noose scene. I do believe that's one of the greatest scenes of the movie. So I just love when he's just like the noose is just hanging in the Force shot, and he's like, "I want to come back inside. I'm all better now. I'm
Yeah.
okay."
I'm all better. You can let me out.
Yeah,
now.
it's over. I'm all better now.
I watched the scene and I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because that is like, I don't know, go in and tie him back up again if he talked to me like that way.
You guys, I listening to this, listening to us break this down, has actually surfaced a question for me that I brought. It surfaced two dots I never thought of before. I was wondering. I thought that the thing was older than the original Ridley Scott Alien, but it's actually a reverse.
Yeah.
1979 Alien, and then 82 The Thing. But there's so many parallels with the xenomorphs. Like they're close. They don't tick all the boxes together, but the Thing infects xenomorphs, or I don't want to xenomorphs. Yeah, they also infect, and then they take on the traits of the host body, and then hatch out and do something. And the Thing sort of has a similar trajectory. Holy moly!
Well,
Great question.
What happened?
Nothing happened.
All right, moving on. I think that really for me, if we talk about plot holes, when we talk about fixing them, really the fix is relatively easy with this one. You just don't show it. You don't have to show the alien ship ever. I don't care where the thing comes from. I don't give a shit.
Like, show the first one and allude to the fact that it came here infected.
Don't show the first one. Who gives a shit?
I think the thing should have came on a meteorite. Like it just seems like it's just so organic.
Yeah, like Venom, right? Like the symbiote. Just like surviving in space.
Yes, man.
Sure. I don't think you have to show. I don't think there's any need to show any reason how the thing got there.
That would also save us the fucking weird CG in the beginning.
Well,
Honestly, that CG is so dumb. I was expecting someone to go to make the sound effects. Like it was like, what the fuck?
Do you notice
was
that opening is the exact same as the Predator opening?
Yeah.
Where it's like shows the spaceship flying, and it almost guarantee is just studio notes.
Yes.
I mean, because the whole movies are designed to be like a mystery to find out what is this thing in both movies. Like, what is it? What is it? And it's like the studio's like, well, we gotta let people know it's an alien picture. We gotta show the spaceship flying in front of them.
I was gonna say the West Side Boy was like, how are they gonna know if it's you have to show it to spaceship.
Oh, it's gotta be a spaceship.
Hey, yeah.
Otherwise, people can just think it's some goo.
Hey Spencer, we're not an Only Feats production here.
Yeah. Move.
You're nasty.
Yeah.
Apologies. That was
But yeah,
very sexy of me.
It was very too sexy. We can't handle the
Too
views
sexy
on
for
that.
YouTube.
No, I think those are fine solutions. We don't. It's not important. But you're right. It's studio
you
notes.
said something else as well, Matt, that would work. Like it would be probably a little bit more work, but like show us that the thing kind of learns as it goes and becomes better at doing things. That would work too. Like you still don't have to show the spaceship, but like learning how to trick people better, learning how to mimic people better, that would also help.
Or just like honestly, I think it's a perfect replica. So it's like it's supposed to. It's not. I don't think it's supposed to get smarter or anything. It's just supposed to be as smart as the person it's infecting. But I think that the only thing to fix is the space. Like it could just be a hole, and then it's just like it. They think like it's going down to freeze itself. We have to kill this thing.
Or it made a hole to escape.
Or he just made a hole to escape, and they had to follow
the center of the Earth.
Yeah, he's gonna infect the core.
First of all,
he's gonna replicate the Earth.
Based on my knowledge, there's actually is it a xenomorph production factory at the center of the Earth in the Arctic? Yeah. So you don't want to go all the way down there.
Was it trying to cross over like Alien versus Predator versus the Thing? Is that what we're doing?
Man,
yeah,
I think
so.
The Thing wins that every time.
Yeah, because the Thing just becomes a xenomorph and game over.
Yeah,
man.
but
game over.
Game over, man. Game over. We're all things, man. Let's fucking turn to goo, man. Yeah, or I like the other theory that I came up with. I like my other theory where it wants to get McCready because McCready's a pilot and it can use his knowledge to escape. Like at least that's like a plan that seems like something a human would come up with.
And like we have to stop this because we'll go on forever. But like this again assumes that the thing is smart,
learns and knows.
And that's the thing that's missing. Is like it's presented as to me, it's presented as a beast that sole job is to survive.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ever display intelligence. It's just displaying survival instincts. But to assume it then has intelligence that's where I get thrown off in the disconnect. And that's why the plot hole pops up.
It's like contradictory character motivation.
But this is why this movie sucks. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
Jumping the gun already. But if the thing, so like if the thing's like MO is to, or like core, like prime directive or whatever, is to just like survive. Right. And it's a perfect replica stack. Like that's the first level, and then perfect replica stack, right?
Yeah.
And if its intelligence is limited based on who it inhabits and takes over, then
but then you have to show, right?
Well, in a way, it did show us because the infected had. I can't argue smarter, but every time it replicated, it worked with the amount of intelligence that host had, and so.
Are you saying that like Palmer and whoever else got infected, like the dude that looks like Matt?
They're dumb.
Those guys were like, they're dumb, so the creature is also dumb. But Wilford Brimley is smart, so then the thing is smart too. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It's getting closer. So if it works within the amount of intelligence that it has access to, can the thing love?
Oh no!
Hey man, we're not in that section. I don't know what you're
trying
to do.
Fucking good.
The fucking son of a bitch.
Well, he jumped to the reviews.
No, I was kidding. That's called a joke.
I know.
Yeah,
I think he did it again.
Yeah, shut.
Yo,
Matt, you see Matt nodding his head disapprovingly.
He did not. He's shaking.
What's new?
That
What's
means
new?
Yeah, Matt, you take it away, sir. I got you.
I need to re-rail this podcast, Chris. Even if everything you said was true, which most of it was nonsense, but even if it was true, Wilford Brimley gained superpowers. Thingley gained superpowers. He could move super fast. He was super strong, and that breaks the laws of
spaceship.
And he built a spaceship.
And he has hand
in a cave with his bare hands.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going by the logic of the movie, it definitely infers that it retains knowledge of previous hosts. And
which
by
makes
that
no
logic,
sense.
it had the knowledge of the aliens that it previously controlled.
Yeah.
Along with the intelligence of the dog.
I don't think that makes sense, but the movie does show that, so that's neither here nor there. It just is what it is.
All right, we're talking in circles.
That being said, we do have a couple other plot armor things we want to talk about. Just quick things that were like eyebrow raisers, but weren't necessarily plot holes.
Right.
And the most obvious one happens at the beginning of the movie. I can only call it one thing: the terrible mismanship of the Norwegians trying to shoot that dog.
Yeah.
The Norwegian was right.
He
was. But he missed very, very... Like, I don't understand how many times does he fly over that dog and misses every single one of those?
Correct.
What do you? He's a researcher. He's not a goddamn Navy SEAL.
How do
Dude,
you know?
he has a sniper and like a fucking giant box of thermal grenades.
Yeah.
the grenades was the miss. To be honest, he should have opened
clearly
with those.
doesn't know how to use grenades, so
Yeah.
he shouldn't have been using them.
I laughed so hard at that scene. It was like, oh!
He almost threw the pin. Like,
Yeah. It was the funniest thing was like he pulled the pin. He was going to toss the grenade. He flies backwards into the near the helicopter. The pilot dude, instead of running for his fucking life, was like, "Oh, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it and save it."
well, they knew they needed the helicopter. I guess
It's my favorite grenade.
that's my only grenade. Yeah, that was a bad call.
College. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. That dog had the strongest plot armor I've ever seen.
Yeah, it made no sense. High ground, not as fast as a helicopter. Come on.
I mean, he doesn't outrun the
moving
helicopter, but
Nah.
still, he was running in the straight line, Spencer.
Exactly, and they could have dropped he could
they
have
could
opened
have-
up all
they
those
could
grenades
have
and
let-
chuck, boom.
They could have landed. He had a sniper. He could have landed the fucking chopper, stepped out of it, shot the dog, and get the fuck out.
Okay, but hear me out on this. The Norwegian are things. And so the thing is taking over their body, and that's why he keeps missing.
Well, if you want to know for fact, you can watch the prequel because it's about those Norwegians.
Fucking prequels.
Also, that would track Matt because maybe that grenade fumble wasn't a fumble.
It was a tactical
It
suicide.
was tactical. Well, not suicide because he killed the other guy.
It was a noose hanging in his
that's
tool
true.
shed,
Yeah, but
if
it
you
couldn't
will.
be the thing.
now.
Wait, but it couldn't
all
be the
better.
thing because
Fine.
he got shot in the eye and he didn't turn into like a fucking giant spider with
Jello.
tentacles. So
He didn't have time. He didn't know that Captain Ahab was going to fucking shoot his white whale immediately.
Yeah, fucking headshot dead.
yeah, like the sniper misses what, like 10 shots.
I'll give you the
And
sniper,
the
but
captain's just like a little shot in the eye. It's like holy shit.
no, I won't give you the sniper because honestly, I've never shot a sniper rifle out of a moving helicopter, and I don't know how easy it is. So I'm going to give him a pass on that. What I won't, though, is your point. They did have grenades, and they could have
Yeah.
easily just dropped her. Doesn't take a lot of aim to drop a grenade on a guy.
But he tried and he misses, right? He tosses a grenade and he
Yeah.
misses from the helicopter.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
Misses by far, even like it explodes way far from the dog.
It's one of these things that like it's clearly plot armor, and there's probably ways to fix it.
A better way of
and
doing
we're
that,
just not going to do it because we don't care. The other thing we should talk about is the third section, our questions, our fun questions,
Right.
because I think the listeners want to know what we have in store for them, and I think we're going to start with the all important question: would diabetes kill a thing?
Well,
It's a good question.
given that it infected Wilford Brimley to become Wilford Tingley, and that
Right.
was the best iteration and the fastest and the strongest and smartest iteration, I think diabetes gives them power.
I thought you were
First
going
of
to say
all-
it was the best iteration of diabetes. It's the one
That
in,
too.
in Wilford Brimley.
That too.
Type 3
It was
diabetes.
fighting the best version.
Tight Tingley, get your toes out of the shot.
Get-
I'm showing my diabetes foot.
it's type 3 diabetes. It gives you superpowers and makes you grow a mustache.
Type Thingley diabetes.
May
Yeah.
cause spurs to build spaceships.
I will challenge your thought process on the diabetes in the sense that we don't know how old Wilford Brimley is ever, and we don't know when Wilford Brimley
Brimley's
got
eternal.
diabetes.
Yeah, he's an immortal.
So he could not had diabetes before the thing took over,
Yeah,
and
but
then
you
he
cannot
gets
prove it.
diabetes. I'm positing a question to you.
Okay.
If he doesn't have it, becomes a thing, but then gets diabetes because it's in him all along,
Right.
does the thing survive?
Are you saying maybe the diabetes was in us all along? Maybe the real diabetes was the friends we made along the way.
Maybe Wilford Brimley never had diabetes. He just had the thing. Maybe that's what it is.
I'm gonna take a turn on this question and just say,
Sure.
no, it's answering your question.
Yeah.
The I forget which guy his name is. The one with whose chest exploded.
Norris.
Norris. He is the thing, and he has a heart attack as the thing.
Yep.
So the thing can't cause. It's a perfect replica that it replicates your defects.
Right.
So if you have diabetes and get replicated, you'll still have diabetes, and if not treated, it will still. I assume it doesn't kill it doesn't defeat the thing because the thing still lives, but the body, I guess, will stop working.
But if the entire body stops working, how does the thing survive? If every cell of the body dies.
No, but it doesn't. Really
But the cells don't die. The body stops working because it doesn't have a working heart.
Right.
In which case, it has to
like the thing
open
can
its
survive
chest.
as just blood. Right.
Yeah. But that's why it when he gives him the paddles, it attacks because it can't like move anymore. I guess. So that's its opportunity to kill somebody else.
Hey, Spencer, we already tackled this.
Sorry.
How does super fucking Wilford Brimley operate? I just want to know if diabetes can kill a thing or not. And are you saying no?
Can.
I think it can.
Thank you, Chris. Yield your time. Chris is talking.
While we were talking about diabetes, I was like, okay, well, wait a minute. On the cellular level, how does diabetes operate? And I went and checked.
God. Great.
And I just went and checked. And so it eventually causes cellular death. So I feel like it's like that not yin and yang, but like there's a conflict between thing trying to take over cells and grow and replicate, but then diabetes and cells dying. So how can progress take place? I had two shake weights. How can thingly progress take place when half of the body, or rather half of the organism or the creature or the person is dying if they have diabetes? So I feel like no progress would be made. So eventually, I think it would have to yield.
I'm pretty sure they covered this in the Cocoon movie, so we don't need to go any further.
I just want to add, because Chris made a good point. I actually am converted. I think if Wilford Brimley knows if he's aware what diabetes is because he has it,
right?
I think the thing then knows that and knows that its own insulin levels are low, and the thing can replicate insulin levels.
This is the worst answer of all time.
That was
it's too realistic. What are we
that
doing?
Did not
here?
have to like you. I wish we could rewind 30 seconds.
And then
what I wish.
Oh, I pass.
You all gave your time. Y'all failed this question. We're on to the next one. Why does McCready have his own cabin?
He eats a lot of beans.
Drink shame. He wants to drink. Yeah, he wants to drink he wants to consume as much as he wants without the prying eyes of the rest of the camp and crew. And he's single-handedly depleting their alcohol stores, and he's doing it like behind, like on the DL. So that's why he's able to throw alcohol on the computer, because if he did that in front of everybody else, they'd tear him a new a-hole.
I think he's single-handedly doing other things.
You think he was kicked out to his own cabin, or he was given, or he took the one cabin?
I think Luciano's right. He was using his single hand to do things to himself, and people didn't want to watch him doing it anymore.
Exactly.
It makes sense. Look at how many pairs of sunglasses he has.
It's the cabin of shame, not the cabin of anything.
Doesn't want to make eye contact anymore.
What the fuck does sunglasses have to do with jerking it?
He had
everything.
Everything.
Explain the sunglasses and the sombrero. Luciano's right.
if that's the case, then what the fuck was Windows doing? Because he never takes those fucking glasses off.
First of all, the sombrero shame is a very important marker when you're a bunch of dudes alone. You need to know who the creepiest
True.
jerk off guy is. Windows was second level. So when you got the sombrero and the sunglasses, number 1. Just the sunglasses, number 2.
Rollerblades.
Rollerblades, number 3.
Yeah.
Nice
So it was a
transportation.
hierarchy of nastiness. Is
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
that is. Okay.
And if you ever get all 3 somehow, then you're
you go,
out
to
of-
the
out of-
cabin.
Figley.
You go to the cabin.
you go to the tool shed.
They're also disgusted with him that's why the thing didn't kill
if
him.
you get
Yeah.
and if it gets really really bad, you have to build a noose.
Well, yeah, I think that's Spencer's right. Like this is how we know McCready wasn't a thing because the thing is just like, dude, you nasty. I'm not taking over that.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to be you. Fuck off.
I don't want to be you.
And
I don't think
promise-
about you at all.
I promise you, by the time you try to finish that flask, and the fire dies out after this explosion, I still don't want you.
Yeah, no.
Why is he southern all of a sudden?
McCready would single-handedly teach the
Thingly?
concept of shame.
Moving on, I do want to know what is this is a research station, quote unquote, in the Antarctic.
Right.
So they're researching
Things.
science things.
They're doing the science.
Yeah, they're doing the science. Why does the science need so many guns and flamethrowers?
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
Crowd control.
They were researching the effects.
Crowd control. Why? They're controlling the snow?
They're researching the effects of guns on ice.
You know, does ricochet. How can you split? How many snowflakes can you inflict damage to?
I think
I
the
just
answer
wanna
is
understand.
they're American. I think that's really the answer.
No, Disney was planning to put on a musical called Guns on Ice,
Oh, I see.
and they
So you
needed
need the
to test
flamethrowers
it.
to like
Well,
melt the snow and ice.
No, and pyrotechnics, of course,
yes,
for the
right.
show.
Yeah.
It was going to be a dancing, ice skating extravaganza
Yes.
with live ammunition.
Yes.
So this was the first, like this is the alpha test of Disney on Ice. They want to put it away in Antarctic for prying eyes.
Disney presents Guns on Ice.
This
Young
was-
Guns.
Is
on
this
ice.
is this like a Frozen prequel? Is that what that is?
No, like Disney on Ice has been a thing forever. It's not frozen. It's just like things happening on ice. So this is the first
gotcha.
iteration.
This
You know
is
how
their-
like
their Texas
Steamboat
division.
Mickey was the first Mickey? Yeah.
Yeah. And now this is Disney on Ice presents Science Guns on Ice.
On ice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Science guns.
The scientific method on ice.
No,
Yeah.
science guns on ice.
You were fine the first time.
Yeah,
You didn't
science.
have to-
You ruined.
Nah.
Science : Guns on Ice hyphen
Yeah.
extravaganza.
The musical.
The musical.
All right.
Great. Thanks, everybody. That was great. Follow-up question. Unrelated. The thing is only able to replicate people it touches, right?
Thing. Yeah. Organisms, I guess. It touches,
Organism, yeah, because it was the dogs and stuff.
Right. Right.
What is the best choice for the thing to become in order to touch as many people as possible?
Oh no.
When you say touch as many as people possible,
Yeah.
it
Are
it
we-
doesn't sound.
Are we talking?
Just
are we
touching?
talking touching or being touched? Because there's a very different.
Are we talking
That's the same thing.
touching?
That's the same thing. Touching is touching. That's physical contact. So you want to know who our picks are.
Love is love, baby.
Oh, now there's love involved. I see.
Answer the question.
Whatever gets the thing to touch things, I guess.
But just I agree. But it's also if the thing could just like assimilate or infect someone just by shaking hands, like he would have done that in the movie. He has to get saliva or blood or
Hey, man.
them
Oh
alone.
no! Oh
Hey, man.
no! This is getting more dangerous. by
I'm asking the
minute.
questions.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know why you gotta.
Well, in this question, do they have to have is it the person who can touch the most saliva or blood or get them alone, or is it whoever could just like shake the most hands?
You know, Spencer, if you had a problem with this question, you should have brought it up in the pre-show
That's true.
where we could have fixed
All right.
it.
Well, I'm choosing to answer it via whoever can
Fine. That's
share
fine.
the most saliva, blood, and or be alone with.
Great.
So that.
And
so
I
you saying-
picked Yo Mama. Oh shit!
Wow, that was the
based
worst setup for a Yo Mama joke ever.
But based on your rant, McCready could have stole away folks to his shack.
Oh no!
What
are you talking about?
No, we're talking about anyone on the planet Earth.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what time period? Any time period?
Holy shit, man! Just answer
Yeah,
the question. Fill in the blanks however you want. I don't care.
Does it have to be
in the
someone
80s?
with two hands?
No.
Can they touch them with just one hand?
If this is present day, there's an answer, and I've got it. And if it was in the 80s,
Oh my God.
Andy Griffith, shut the fuck up. Andy Griffith, okay, would be from the 80s, and then Diddy would be.
I was gonna say
Diddy.
I was gonna pick Diddy just from the sheer number of people
The
he
freak
touched.
offs.
baby oil.
The freak offs have a whole new meaning. Great. Let me ask you, Matt, what financial bracket do these people have to be in?
Yeah. Do they have to be people that pay taxes?
And spiritually, what is their stance on Kabbalah?
Okay, so tax bracket, yes. Kabbalah only on the weekends.
Wait,
Okay.
tax bracket, yes, is not an answer.
Yes, they're in a tax bracket. Okay. They have
tax
made
bracket,
money.
yes. Kabbalah, blue. What the
I'm gonna go
Fix
with
that.
I'm gonna go with
Matt
who is
Block!
the I don't know, it's hard to top Diddy. That's a good pick.
Yeah,
You got other-
Diddy is the
there's-
answer, I think.
There's other people, but you good.
I was gonna
Epstein?
no, why are they all rapists?
I was going to say too soon.
Yeah.
That's a choice you guys
That's
are
a choice.
making.
No, not me. Don't put me in that boat. Don't
Okay,
put me in
that's
the
a
rapist boat.
I'll throw another one out. Louis C.K.
Oh, no.
Hey, you don't have
Bill
to call
Cosby.
it rapists anymore. We're done.
I didn't say that.
I'm gonna go with Leonardo
Francis.
DiCaprio.
Great.
Oh, good pick.
Here's another one that's not
Because
not a
he
rapist.
keeps
Chris.
renewing.
Bob
He keeps
Ross.
renewing his pool of people he touches.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
that's right. Eat it.
Chris, you don't have to yell out names just for the sake of yelling
Yes, I
out names.
can because it's a fun game.
It's,
Well, he didn't
But
say
that's-
you can't.
this isn't the
he
game.
said you shouldn't. It's different.
the game is
Shaggy.
just yell out the first name that comes into your head.
Lava, 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 lava.
The
Pope
question had
Francis.
the question had a very specific form to it.
I rebuke your rules.
When has that ever stopped Chris from answering the question he has in his head?
I guess that's why people listen to this.
Yeah, sure. All of our listeners listen.
Moving on.
Vladimir Putin.
Moving on. Let's rank this movie on a scale from S to F.
Uh-huh.
He's
Not
notice
random-
how slow he's
Not
like,
random
yeah.
people names.
Stay on the rails, you
Focus.
goddamn.
Chris.
Look at the light. Look at the light here.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm going to get Luciano to go first. And you think
me
of
how
a
it's
letter between
One
S
of these
and
things
F.
is not like the other.
Oh, God.
One of these.
Luciano?
So, like I said in the beginning, I had seen lots of bits and pieces of this movie, but quite frankly, the only thing I actually remembered, and I misremembered, was the scene with testing the blood, because in my head, for whatever reason, he was tying people up to chairs and electrocuting them. That's how I remembered
That
the
was
scene.
your
I don't
sexual
know
fantasy.
why. I don't.
Wow.
Maybe the things got crossed. But
and then
anyway,
Spencer's feet showed up in your dream
And-
and you got really
there you go.
confused.
What a
There you
powerful wet dream.
that makes sense, I guess. Anyway, I enjoyed this movie. I'm not like the hugest fan of like horror or this like type of movie, but it is well put together. Like all of the things we said, right? The acting was good. The story is very tight, even though we kind of talked for like half an hour about the one plot hole we found. The CGs, or like
not
the
CG.
effects. The effects is like dated, but it's still part of the sort of the identity of the movie at this point, right? Now, all things considered, like I think it's a B for me. Like I actually would rewatch it to do the things that Spencer said, like trying to find clues in what people say or what things happened. Oh, that's when he got infected. That's when he got infected, like that sort of thing.
I just
But yeah, it's a B. It's a B for me.
I just want to quote McCready and say, yeah, fuck you two.
Great. You don't have any opinion on the matter, which is nice to see. Chris, are you ready?
Yeah. So this is an A for me because it's one of those movies that stick with you. I don't do horror well, and so I had to I broke this movie in half and like watched it the first half, and then I was like, okay, I think I can make it, and then I let the guys know I'm okay, I'm able to sleep tonight. Took on the second half, and like overall, very happy that I was able to watch it, and it was enjoyable. The special effects didn't bother me at all because when you deal with movies that are not from present day or like go beyond 10 years before this sort of our modern era of movies making and so on, it's fine.
Just to clarify, I wasn't bothered. I was amused. So
Says the man who picked Highlander.
What?
that is true. That is
What?
true.
Just giving people information that
Context.
maybe
Context.
Information nobody asked for. Furthermore, back to my review. This movie is an A. This is something you should watch, and
I agree with that. People should, if they haven't watched it, they
you
should.
should, and you'll enjoy it just as much, if not more, than when you watch Highlander.
More,
definitely more.
Not as much, but
definitely
close.
1,000 times more. I'm going to give this movie.
Fuck you, Les Chris.
I'm going to give this movie an S. I just really enjoyed the simplicity of the movie and the fact that it just twists and turns and makes you wonder who is or is not a thing at all times. You know, plot holes be damned at the end. I mean, whatever. Like, it's not, that doesn't break the movie. It's just it's something that's questionable, but it doesn't really change the enjoyment of the movie for me because I just like
It's just
that.
us being nitpicky like we usually are.
Yeah, but it's just like I like the movie. The fact that the movie, I think the key for me is the movie shows you the thing immediately, and shows you that everybody knows the thing exists, and everybody is much more freaked out by the fact that they could be a thing and they don't know. And surprisingly, it is not something that Hollywood has been able to really reproduce in a meaningful way, and that's why it's an S for me because they still haven't figured out why this movie works because they want to make it like they want to up the ante on like how this works, like
the big reveal.
Yeah, it's the thing is secretive and no one knows we're a thing, and the audience knows, wink, wink, but the actors don't know. That's stupid. Like it's better when they know because then you're living it with them.
Yeah, totally, 100% nailed that. You feel like you're there. You're like, oh fuck, this is fucked.
It is very immersive, like more than you would think. I agree with that too.
Especially when I got shot in the leg. That was not cool.
Tough son of a gun. Tough son of a gun.
Yeah. Shut up! I'm trying to sleep. I got shot today. Spencer.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious how I feel about this movie, so I'm not gonna. I will say we made a very special exception for The Matrix, and I'd like to make another formal request to give this movie, because it is my pick, a rare S+.
You can give it an S+, but I think everyone else is going to deny
not everyone
your...
else. Just for me.
Oh, that's fine.
Sure.
It's an S+ because it actually is, along with The Matrix, in my top 5. It's got a special place in my heart. I don't even like horror movies, but this movie, I just like when I first saw it, it was just like so different, so cool. It's just fucking, I don't know. It just checks all the boxes for me. I still like watch like YouTube breakdowns of it and stuff. It's a vibe, and I'm here for it. I wanted to ask. I didn't ask this. I wanted to ask you guys. Did you guys think it was scary? Mainly Chris, because I know Chris gets scared from horror movies.
Yeah, I don't like that's the only reason why it wasn't an S for me, because like I was like and then fortunately it didn't like I was never really attacked with the scare. Like I was able, that's why like I enjoyed this movie. So a little, but it didn't get me. So yeah. I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I
was expecting it to be more disturbing in terms of like being scared. Like if I'm going to watch a horror movie, this is the kind of watch where
me too.
Wilford Brimley. Like I was
it's not like I hate jump scares. That's the thing I hate the most about horror movies. There's none here.
No really. Jump scares.
Right? No, this is just like a scary situation.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you can put yourselves in the shoes of any of those guys there and go, holy shit, this would be one of the scariest fucking things that could ever happen.
Yeah.
Right. So I Like honestly, if this had like jump scares and shit, it would have brought it down to like
Detracted from it. I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you could make an argument that the blood test is a jump scare in the way they present it to you, because
Yeah, a little bit.
they catch you off guard with it.
But it's a perfectly executed jump scare. It's
Yeah.
earned.
It's meaningful, right?
I mean, it's pretty much the OG jump scare.
Yeah.
You know something's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just like someone like out of nowhere just be like, bah! It's like
Yeah.
building tension for like that whole scene.
Correct.
And
Correct.
you know something is coming,
Yeah,
right?
and
You
then
know
it's- and then a
one of
payoff.
them is going to react in a
Right.
different way.
And you don't know necessarily how, but at least there's
Yeah.
a foundation, and it's slowly throttled up. And
Yeah.
for me, that was fine. I was like, fascinating. What's going to happen? Who
Yeah.
is it? Da, da, da. It feels more mystery. It's more mystery than it is.
Yeah, exactly.
horror.
That's
It's
exactly.
like the others. The others has the same vibe where like
Yeah.
you're tense and like, but you're not like, oh my god, something's gonna jump at me in the screen. Yeah.
I was actually going to say that same thing, Chris. That it's sorry. Last thing I'll say is I love this movie because I don't like horror, but it is more of a mystery
Yeah.
than a horror movie. It's a sci-fi like thriller mystery, and that's why I love it so much. One of a kind.
Moving on.
Speaking of one of a kind movies,
What?
we are gonna watch Wolves next.
You mean Wolf?
Yeah, it's
Wolves.
wolves.
The Purna Jagathan vehicle.
You shot yourself in the foot there.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, there's some
I
small.
tried my best.
There's some small up and coming actors like Brad Pitt and George Clooney too, but
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
They're going places.
Allegedly, we're gonna watch the reunion of Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Hey.
Wolves
Wolves.
with an
Does
S.
Does this mean one day we should do Ocean's 11 or something?
No,
I wonder.
no,
we're gonna
never.
skip right to 13.
Hey.
That's one does. No,
yeah.
we're skipping right to Ocean's 8.
Yeah, yeah. We're
Hey,
not
I
gonna.
don't dislike that movie.
We're not
I've
even gonna
never
do
seen it.
Pitt and Clooney.
It's okay.
Fuck the patriarchy.
Wow.
True.
Says the man who never watched it. Yeah.
I don't like women.
Come back.
Oh no! Incel Spencer makes a comeback.
Holy shit! I thought we lost him in the
Oh, yeah.
the blur of the Antarctic, but
And that's
Yeah.
why I didn't. I love this movie. There's no women in it.
So anyway, Wolves with some women in it. We're gonna watch that next week.
Boo.
Incel
Oh,
Spencer
God.
might not ever come back. Yeah.
I feel like Matt is like the captain character where he's like on this podcast. He's like, yeah. But I'd like to not spend the rest of this night tied to this fucking chair.
Yeah.
Him trying to end this podcast.
I yield all of your time. Goodbye.